Hey everyone, welcome to Heart of the Podcast with MSTC. I'm Mel.
I'm Joseph.
Holy fuck, you screwed the pooch.
Yes,
there.
I screwed the pooch on that one.
I'm Kosi.
Joseph.
I'm George.
Amazing. All right, well, high quality start, but
Welcome, everyone.
welcome everyone. So we just wanted to do a couple topics today about some of our play styles and our preferences and how we sort of deck build. Not super in depth. We're going to talk about some other stuff, but one of the things that one of us is very good at and the others are not is the idea of sticking to a single deck. So Kosi, did you want to talk a little bit about what you feel like is the advantage to sticking to a single deck?
Your pocket. Well, thank you. That's the first thing. I guess I'll list them and then I'll go in depth. Your pocket is one. Mastery over a deck is another. And you just have more fun playing one deck, honestly. It depends on what you want out of the game, but yeah, that's probably the top three reasons. So the pocket thing, I mean, it may be common sense, but if you play one deck, like for me, dinosaurs, right? I feel like I'm kind of stuffy, but fuck it. So if you play I play dinosaurs, right? And I've been playing that deck. I missed the Yang Zing stuff, but I came when the best play was VFD, which is really good until Striker,
Right?
Because it would just afterburn me, and I would just cry and noob. But the thing about playing one deck, right? It's the pocket thing, yeah. Like if cards come out. And like when I played Dinosaur and I was really into the game, X-Drive came out. I was like, okay, but a new deck came out. I forgot what deck came out then, but instead of buying a new deck for 300 plus, I just pay, retail or 85% on the X-Drives and then make my deck better and then build that deck up to be the best version of itself. So yeah, TLDR, you can advance your own deck faster with the money you would invest into the game. Mastery too. I guess I got kind of lucky because when Misk was at 3, my deck was pretty much full power because I was serious in the game at that point.
Yeah.
So did pretty well with that at a few events. Mm-hmm. And I played, like I said, I've been playing that deck since like late 2017 till now. So yeah. I could say I more or less mastered the deck. I don't really have any crazy premier tops with it, but I'm pretty comfortable with it. And then the third point was pocket, mastery. Oh, have fun. So I think this is a, you guys can build off this one, but depending on what you want out of the game, right? If you want to just win all the time and you don't mind spending $1,000 every format when a tier 1 deck comes out, more power to you, right? But for me, what's fun is winning, yeah, but the fact that I'm playing dinosaurs to this day and it's a tier 2 strategy at best, and I beat people who are on tier 1 decks easily sometimes, that's more rewarding than just, normal summoning Prank Kid Link off and then full combo with my 15 starter deck, So, but like I said, it all depends on what you want out of the game.
That's fair. Well, those are good points. Joseph, did you look like you have an interesting thought?
I'm just really enjoying my coffee, but to piggyback off of Kosi's thing, I actually feel like I've stuck to one deck more than I would if I hadn't met Kosi, because I've seen the fact that he sticks to one deck and just wins a lot. When I was playing in Magic, I used to just switch off to every single other deck that I could see. So far I've gotten in Yu-Gi-Oh and I have purchased many decks. However, I haven't played many decks. I had the most experience with Virtual World, and then the secondary deck that I really played the most was Shaddoll Invoked, and then I am currently on Sword Soul, and then I am transitioning right now into secondary DDD. But honestly, I haven't been switching as much as I typically would, and I've seen the benefits of it. I've been learning my deck, the ins and outs, and it just helps me. It just helps me become as a better player, understanding my deck.
Okay.
By sticking to one.
Just by sticking to a couple.
Interesting.
Nice.
And George, how do you feel about that?
So my take is different. I always have to go against like against the grain, against everybody.
You rebel.
I have to. So my I guess my mentality is if I can learn the top deck or the best deck, then I know how. If I play it, then I learn it, and then I know the choke points and I know how to stop it. So, and I'm like really bad at learning stuff unless it's like in hand. And I've money wise, I've lost more than I've won.
Haven't we all?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Never go neg.
Yeah.
Always go neg in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Never go neg. But
if you play this game, you never not go neg.
nah, I mean, if you just play the game, my friend told me this and it's pretty accurate. If you just play the game, you just have to assume like you're gonna go neg 70% of the time.
Oh, more than that. I think like 70's being generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You're not gonna be a happy camper.
but nah, mantra.
But money isn't real.
The mantra's never go neg. Money's very real.
Money is not real.
I mean, you're not.
I remember one time Z
Mhm.
told me money wasn't real, and that's all I needed to hear.
That's right.
It's true. On a surface level, it's not real, but
Yeah.
we gotta pay rent and
That's true. You got bills to pay.
keep the water warm. You know,
I don't know.
I think that's a topic for a whole different
The
podcast.
cats don't need milk this week.
cats don't need milk this week. One thing. Oh yeah, and that's a disadvantage of playing one deck too. Sorry, I don't let you get to your point yet, Mel. But
Go ahead.
that's probably my biggest issue right now. Is because I've grown so accustomed to Dinosaur and nothing else looks interesting up until Dimension Force comes out. Then I might play a
Oh,
different.
you got the dino brain.
And I might. Hey, I have the wrinkled Dino brain.
That's
So,
true.
But yeah, like with me, if I sat down on Dueling Book or something and played every top deck, I'll be a much better player. But I just go in Dueling Book with my Dinosaur deck. I just lose a bunch, and I learn what other decks do based on how I play them online or I play them in real life.
Mhm.
But it would just speed my process. I just get the deck, even if it makes me throw up. I'll just play it and then learn it, like what Jose said, learn choke points, or what you said, learn choke points and just glow my game up. But I mean, that's not really necessary. But like I said, it would definitely make me and someone else listening to this who wants to win trick a better player.
That's fair. I think I've kind of juggled with both, but I think for me, I have always been a player that's like play as many decks as you can. A little Bastion Misawa from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Shout out to those who know. But I think one of the reasons that I do that is I think about like when I see I play decks based on if they have cool mechanics. So like my first deck actually wasn't Mech Knights, and Mech Knights are my favorite deck. My first deck was Cyber Dragons.
Oh yeah, I remember Cyber Dragons.
Part of that was I really liked. I remember Cyber Dragon being like an incredibly powerful card at the time, and that when we came back to the game,
And that deck is still gas, bro.
I have that deck. I enjoy that deck so much. But I think about like if I sort of had the mentality that Kosi's talking about, where it's like, you know, stick with the deck, I wouldn't have found half of the decks that I enjoy playing. And part of it is like I think for me, trying out new decks and seeing what playstyle I enjoy, because like obviously Cyber Dragons are an OTK like go second variant or go second deck, aside from the trap version. But for me, that was a deck that I really gravitated to, partly because of the anime. Zane was like my favorite character, but it helped me see like, okay, there are other, you know, blowout go second decks, and I saw Mech Knights and I was like, this deck is really cool, and I realized I started playing Mech Knights like right at the start of the pandemic in 2020. So I never I never got a chance to actually play them in a tournament.
Right.
And so, you know, I did all this practice like in our little bubble, and then I started taking them to tournaments, and I was like, okay, that was like, this deck's a lot of fun to play. But I think what I'm noticing, and I'm starting to go more towards Kosi, is like, because I had a large number of decks, and recently I'm selling quite a few of them and keeping only a certain number.
Same.
And I think part of that is one of the things that I think is an advantage that Kosi, you were alluding to, is when you have fewer decks, you can spend more on staples, the cards that like make your
Absolutely.
deck better. So like
Get you them forbidden droplets.
yeah, like forbidden droplets, lightning storms, pot of prosperity, those things. Like if that's what's going to make your deck better and it's your favorite deck, you should focus on that. I
Yeah,
think.
everyone like Spiral form. Like, yo, bro, you got lightning storms, bro. You got extravs.
Yep.
Like, yeah, how'd you get that? I just didn't play Spiral.
Yep.
That was
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I did. I just didn't play Spiral.
Yeah, and I think I used to play Infernoble. That was one of the. I think that was the start of my like. Okay, let me let me take a step back because I bought the full Infernoble core and it was very expensive because it was a tier 1 deck. And then Smoke Grenade got hit, and I lost. Like as we talk about like negging on stuff, I lost so much money on that deck because after Smoke Grenade got hit, it wasn't that it wasn't fun. It was just like it's significantly less powerful.
Yeah, it wasn't FTK anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't like a feared deck. Like it's at this point it's like
It was fair.
yeah, it became a fair deck, which I appreciate. I think fair decks are more fun than other decks that we have going on, especially right now in this
Like
format.
I said, it depends on what you want. If you want to win,
Yeah.
and you're sweaty, playing a fair deck is not the move.
Yeah.
But I do
Are you
think-
raising your hand because you're sweaty and you want to win?
Yeah, that's actually me. So I really think that we've been doing a great job just sticking to primarily to the rotation of decks that we play. It's not like we go out of our way and pick up the brand newest deck and then just, try to win with tier 1. Except
Says
for
the sore soul
myself.
player.
Yeah, except for myself recently. But to be fair, I did have my eyes on that for a long time.
No, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
But anyway, I do think that it, like we've been just reiterating, is that it's based on what we want to get out of the game. If you enjoy playing many different decks in many different styles, more power to you. If you want to consistently win with one deck, then that's the move to go.
I want to be the Dino God,
Yeah. I mean,
Oof.
the irrefutable Dino God.
that's another thing that I think really inspired me to try out new decks is like, what is a deck? Because like one of the things I want to do is like be known for a deck, and like what are the decks that currently don't have people that are like really known? And Mech Knights ended up being my favorite, and it does have a very well known player.
Yeah, shout out Shannon Long.
Yeah, Shannon Long, Colin King, very very.
And your
powerful.
team's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
team scheme's very good. And I think like I enjoy Mech Knights so much that I really want to keep with them. But then I picked up other decks that are like they don't really have a dominant player that I can think of. But then I just realized like I think it was I was sitting down after we went to an encore tournament in New York, and I realized there were like 6 decks that I hadn't actually. 4 of them I hadn't actually even played. I just bought the cards and then hadn't played them yet, and 2 of them I hadn't picked up in over a year. And I was like, I don't need to keep these decks. I can sell them. I'm not gonna pick them up because the ones that I already have I enjoy playing because I've actually picked them up. So I think that for me, I still think that you should play a lot of decks because I think, like I said, for me, if I didn't decide to play other decks, I wouldn't have found my favorite one. But if you're fortunate like Kosi, who picked up a deck and it happened to be one that he really enjoyed playing, all more power to you. But
Well, it's not. I didn't really
ahead.
enjoy playing it. I just didn't like to lose and didn't want to buy something else. So I just
Okay.
my friend sold me the core for it was like $50 max rare.
Who was your friend?
Brian.
Shout out to Brian.
Shout out Brian. Brian Haynes.
I've been facing him quite a bit this past few weekends.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably my returning to the game. He's probably like mentor, quote unquote.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's insane. But yeah, I sold me the core for super rare digs. Once I saw
Wow.
the super rare fossil digs, I was like, nah, like it's a sign.
Yeah.
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 Play the deck.
Do you used to have those same fossil digs?
Same fossil digs from 2017.
Yeah.
Same everything except for the babies. Because
Oh.
once I started winning with the deck, I was like, let me buy these Duelist League babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fair point. Like you want to, because I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players want to like have the not necessarily the max rarity, but like they want their deck that they're playing to look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to play commons?
I'll play a common.
I mean,
Common
there's nothing
charity.
wrong with using common.
Nothing wrong with common.
Like, for example, I mean, what's a way that you traded your way into getting higher rarity stuff, or did you just buy your stuff, Kosi?
So what I did was I had 2 ways, right? I had the guy send me money through Spotify. That was the first way.
Yeah.
Spotify,
A little
the well
sus, but that's all right.
Inside joke. And then but that was the main way. But the secondary way before I did that was I sold my old collection. I went super neg. But granted, like I got those cards when I was a kid, so I basically got them for free.
Yeah.
So I didn't really go neg, but could have got more, but you can't lose what you never had, right?
Right.
Sold that for like $200. And then I had 50. I knew I wanted to buy a deck for 50. I was gonna buy 3 structure decks. That's when the structure deck came out.
Mhm.
I was gonna buy 3 for 30. Brian was like, "Why buy 3? I could just give you a playable deck, a competitive playable deck that I'm winning here at Squiggy's with for $50." And I was like, "Okay." Then yeah, that was pretty much it. So it was sell my old collection and then Spotify.
Nice.
Gotcha. Mel?
I think for me, it was I focused a lot on secret rare is my favorite rarity, so I wanted to as many cards as I could that were reasonable because I'm not paying $600 for a secret rare copy of a card. But like,
Won't you though?
no, I won't. That's too much.
You could buy a whole.
Won't you though?
You could buy a whole collection, sell the
Right.
collection, and buy 3 secret rare cards.
But I think I always secret and ultra are my favorites. But we say this, we joke a lot about it. But like, especially for newer players coming in or people that don't have necessarily a lot of money to get into the game, like there's no change aside from the way the cards look. The cards work the same that they do. You just draw them more if they're higher rarity.
So they say. And back to what you want out of the game. If you beat somebody max rarity with your common deck, come on, that would just make you.
Or if
Gross
they don't
and
have, or if they don't even have a playmat or sleeves.
God, that's
You gotta have
a
sleeves.
slap in the face.
or the deck is in like a plastic bag.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm sharking you if you don't have sleeves. I don't care how nice of a person you are.
Well, George, you had not a similar experience at the first regional we went to where you beat that Orcus player.
Oh yeah.
And he just like picked up, he was like, I hate this deck and just sold it immediately.
Yeah. I beat some dude in at regionals, and he sold his deck like right. Well, he told me afterwards because I saw him at another regionals afterwards. And he's like, he sold his deck right after when I beat him with Mystic Mind, Exodia.
Solid.
It was great.
Um,
It was amazing.
So back on that, or to piggyback off the deck thing. So what are your? I know this is. I play one deck, but from you multiple deckers, how do you practice?
Big deckers, you mean?
Yeah, big deckers. Yeah, top deckers. How do you double deckers? How do you?
how many more puns can we do with it?
Oh, that could go on and on forever.
How do you practice with all these decks? Like for me, I just spam.
You do it just one at a time. One at a time.
You solitaire first, so you just go straight into a simulator. What do you do?
I just go straight into a simulator. I need to like trial and error. That's how I learned like birds and Char Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
I just jumped right into it. I had zero idea how like the combos worked, and I was like, eventually I'm gonna get it right.
I mean, Tri Brigade is linear. Not Birds is not linear, but Tri
No, birds are not. Yeah, Char Brigade is pretty linear. Yeah, but without like knowing anything about tries, like I remember playing tries for the first time with salads, and I was like, this is a pretty like, and that was when tries were tier 1, and then I was like, this is a pretty fair deck. Like it's not like it doesn't do anything too crazy.
It just didn't brick.
That's the thing. It
didn't
just
break.
I was like, this is it's pretty fair. I was like, I want to learn how to play it.
It was like send fractal, okay, Ash, okay, normal summon, okay, stop that, okay, discard Karas, and then I still get rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, George, your first competitive deck back was Salamangrates. Like you
Nah,
picked
you're
a
in a- you're in a
relatively
good spot.
complex combo deck.
Okay, yeah, but remember when I came back to this game, I was playing right before I was playing Chaos Control,
Mhm.
and I'm talking about normal summoning one monster,
Yeah.
hope, and then maybe like painful, just a bunch of like cards that are broken
Mhm.
now, right? And I had no idea what links were, synchros, exes. All this was like brand new to me. And then when I jumped into salads, I'm like, the only thing I looked, so I googled it. I was like, what's the best deck right now that's affordable? Salads. I was like,
The structure decks
get
as
3
well.
structure decks. And I honestly, I have no idea how I found 3 $10 salad structure decks still at the time. I don't even remember what time we played it. I don't even know if like it was something that was like still in stock at stores, but I was able to get 3 structure decks for $10 each,
Mhm.
and then just put everything else together. Like I ended up buying like the artifact scythe package,
Mhm.
and just like a whole bunch of like extra shit that that I added onto it, and then it was, I don't know, it was just nuts. Like I had zero idea how to play salads. I'm like, oh, this deck is kind of whack. Like I have no idea what to do. All these monsters are super weak.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm used to like big beat sticks. Like
DLS stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kanji, you know, Encore has GOAT tournaments, right? Go format. You don't want to do Go format? Shout out Encore, by the way. Gamer's Choice.
I'm
my
like,
fault, my
yeah,
fault.
yeah,
Gamer's Choice.
Pretty sure we shout them out every episode.
Yeah, I would love to do GOAT format. The only thing is, I would have to really like look for all like old shit like Metamorphosis and Magical Scientists and all like the few. Yeah, there's a lot that I need to like really dig into, like, because I'm not rebuying Metamorphosis.
Of course not.
I'm not rebuying that card.
But if you have all that stuff laying around, like I think you're already beating most of the competition.
Yeah, I would have to like really dig. But honestly, I also don't want to play like some of the cards. Like recently, I just I put my BLS the Chaos one.
Oh, and you put it in a case, right?
Yeah, I put it in the case and I like screwed it in. I was like, God, this is where it's staying. Like
That's good.
first ed, Invasion of Chaos, BLS. It's my baby.
So back to the resource thing now. I think that a very invaluable resource for learning the game, aside from simulators, Metafy. Get a coach.
Yeah.
Coaches are crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
even before Yu-Gi-Oh, I bought a coach. I'm gonna buy
Oh
one.
yeah, that's right. I remember that one time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more coaching. Fuck it. But
Yeah.
when I played League, I mean, I didn't really want to be the best at League, but I didn't want to be bad.
Mhm.
So I bought a coach for League, and it did help. But what was lacking was the fact that I just didn't want to put in the time to be higher tier.
Mhm.
But the coaching did help. Now with the Yu-Gi-Oh now, it's not as time consuming as League.
Mhm.
I go to a tournament, 5 rounds of Swiss,
Yeah.
5-6 hour event, and I leave more fulfilled than sitting down in front of my computer for 6 hours and then looking
Losing all your rank.
looking at myself in the black screen of my face and just like, what have I done?
That's fair.
But yeah, like coaching,
Oh man.
Yeah.
Metafy coaches are invaluable.
I would also say that just going to your locals and asking somebody that may perhaps play the same deck that you want to play, or has experience with the deck that you're currently trying to play. That's also a great resource, as they can teach you the combos, the basics. They've already gone through the ups and downs of what makes a deck weak, what's strong about it. And I'd say YouTube, the great university of
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Just you can learn anything from there. I learned how to change the light bulb on a car, and it's pretty simple. I mean, you just learn the basic combos on YouTube as well. People just are willing to put it out there.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. Those exact two things. I was gonna say, number one, YouTube. If you're picking up a deck, somebody has already picked it up.
Oh, yeah.
And has deck profiles. You can search like the most recent one to see what's there. I do think there's a couple YouTubers that I'll shout out that like I'll say that they do a really good job of explaining, like, always look back at past formats to see what people have played, because that'll tell you like cards can always come off the ban list.
Yeah.
So at some point those cards will come back. But jump on YouTube, type in whatever deck you're looking for with the most recent year. You'll find somebody who has put up a profile, has put up some stuff. And for the most part, a lot of the big name Yugi tubers have done deck profiles on almost every single deck that's out there.
That's true.
I also say locals is another big place where even if you're not learning from people, you just, and Kosi was kind of alluding to it, like you're going to sit down at a locals, you're going to play that deck 5 rounds in a row. I think one thing that I think is probably the best thing that you can do at a locals, do not drop. Continue to play every round. Continue to play, because you will, even if your opponent like if you're doing pretty poorly and your opponent drops, somebody there's opponent has also dropped. You can just play each other after the round sort of ends, and you will practice. Like that's the best thing you can do is practice, especially if you're like George, who's like, and myself, who are like, I need the physical cards in my hand so I can sort of memorize the motions and things like that. I think that those are the two best ways to learn.
It's a beautiful point.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you really want to jump into the rabbit hole and sticking to one single deck, this will be the most dedicated way to learn a deck. Discord groups. That's
Yeah,
where
it's
you
the best
find
thing.
about
yeah.
the most dedicated players.
Yeah.
Like you really have to be looking for the Discord group in order to like that. That's where the people that really want to take the decks to the next level.
Oh, and solitaire a lot.
Yes.
Solitaire a lot. Yeah, solitaire is very good. I mean, most of the time, this game is solitaire anyway.
Yep.
So,
I mean, to Joseph's point, like I think locals is a really good place to go. I mean, I know that Joseph is like known for Sword Soul at Squiggies and Encore, so I know that people do go to him in particular when they want to like they have questions about Sword Soul, and he's super good about like, you know, letting them know like this is good, this is not good, this is why this is good, this is why this is not good. And I mean, you're not always gonna find that person, but it doesn't hurt to ask, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, I only really know Dinosaur, but I play a lot, so I'm the kind of person that's like, even my technical play is pretty all right. So if someone does a misplay, even at a local, I mean, I still want to win, right?
Yeah.
But after the match, I'll just be like, yo, you could have done this, and I actually see how fast it can help somebody, because they'll just say, even if I do it in the same match, they'll learn next game, they'll cuck me, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have even told them that, but it's whatever. I'm helping them learn, you know.
Yeah.
So helping him or her learn. So
and I think to George, what you were talking about, or in Kosi, what you were talking about with solitaire, it's like practicing your combos. I argue always practice like when you're first learning it, practice it assuming there's no hand traps, and then after that, practice assuming you get interrupted.
Yeah, so that's what I did a lot too. After I got better and start understanding what's in the meta, I don't even, when I solitaire now, I don't even solitaire with the combo. I'm like, all right, can this hand play through Ash?
Yes.
I'm like, okay, it can play through Ash. Can it play through Veiler?
Yep.
Can it play through? And that's when something you'll learn as you play more, understand what's in the meta, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes you can feel a little overwhelmed with how many effects there are in your deck. So I say just sticking to like the very simple basic combos first. Like if you have a 1-card combo, and then one goes to another, and then you learn a 2-card combo. That's how I'm taking it right now with the DDDs, or that was my approach. I learned a 1-card combo, I learned a 2-card combo, I learned a 3-card combo, and then you learn, if I get interrupted in the 1-card combo, what do I do? If I get interrupted in the second one, what do I do? So it's just a matter of patience.
Yeah. I think the other note that I'll say around that is, again, check all the resources you can, and especially the other thing I would say that I think not a lot of people do, pay attention to the depending on where you are, the regional and the top and the big event schedule, because right after those events happen, you can go on YouTube. I think YGO Pro Deck is another one. You're gonna see like 8 or 9 or 10 different profiles up of all like sort of the new tech, or like what's going on, and I think that's super important to pay attention to, because especially because we recognize that there are people who they may not have, like, their closest locals is like an hour and a half away. That's going to be a place where you can be like, okay, this is something that I can pay attention to. I should keep an eye out on these dates because there's going to be big profiles coming out. But I like thinking about that. I know that's how I learned. That's how I learned Cyber Dragons and Mech Knights. I was like, okay, YouTube has all of these different things. What are the cards I need to buy, and what are the texts that I'm seeing that are gimmicks but might be good, or are like consistently cards that are coming in? Because back to what we were talking about, or what we were thinking about in terms of like how you build up your profile, you're like, I need to know what is available, what can I do, and what to pay attention to. I think one aspect that we didn't really talk about was side decking, but that I would say that's a different topic for a different day.
That can be on its own.
It's side decking is going to be is important for when you're at the competition, but when you're learning your deck, you have to pay attention to what's going into your deck consistently. That you sort of what you were talking about, Joseph, with your bread and butter combos. You need to, once you're able to stop thinking about what I need to do and start thinking about what your opponent is doing, that's when you know that you've kind of mastered a deck. I think Kosi does that probably the best of all of us.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about how to make dino combos. He's thinking about, you have Ash, you have Ogre, you have Veiler.
Yeah, he
how
knows
do I
baby
stop
goes
that?
into baby.
Yeah, he knows, right? He's not thinking, but
he knows how to pop a
also
baby.
knows that like baby into baby might not be the best play right now, because you might have 3 hand traps because it's a heavy hand trap format. Yeah. Cool. Well, we want to give you a nice clean episode. We appreciate all of you listening. Again, keep an eye out for us. We are Heart of the Podcast with MSTC.
Heart of the Podcast.
I'm Mel.
I'm Kosi.
Joseph.
George.
We'll see you next time.
Gangsta.
Bye.